Amy Grant should do an Eras tour because that would be really
Yes.
fun. And
100%.
right?
And was Taylor inspired by
Of
Amy?
course. You know what? If Taylor Swift didn't love Amy Grant at some point in her life, I would literally be shocked. I might just keel over and die. But of course, Amy Grant influenced everyone. That's why she's our Lord and Savior.
I don't think that you're wrong. Hard agree. I want to go back to the divorce. It was one of the like biggest scandals of my childhood. This person that we had put on this pedestal that we were allowed to listen to, that we loved, even like once Hard Motion, you know, there was some whispers like, oh, she's flirting with a man in her video. She's not only singing about God, heaven forbid. But yeah, the divorce. And I think it was so weird because it wasn't until so much later, like many, 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 many years later, that most of us realized that her ex, you know, Gary Chapman, was an addict. You know, people thought she married Vince Gill too quickly. They had been friends. They had done duet. Yeah, she might have cheated with Vince Gill. Also, Gary Chapman cheated. So there's that. He also cheated on Amy. He would open for her or play in the middle of her set because he always felt jealous of her and wanted like his music to be, you know, as successful, and his albums like flopped. And so like one time apparently he was like maybe drunk in the middle, like in his set, and he like left in the middle because people were like booing him, and he's like, "You're just jealous. I'm married to Amy." Like he was a salty.
Gross.
Yeah, he was.
I mean,
fucking,
true. That's true. Like I think everyone was jealous that he was married to
yeah,
Amy because we all loved
jealous.
her.
Yeah, I would like to be married to Amy. And although she would probably not like that because she's not queer, but you know, she supports the queers. She isn't. That's fine.
The Lord forgot her gay awakening. Hat tip, Sabrina.
Yes.
We're all a little bit queer. It's in there somewhere, I believe. But she seems very happy with Vince. She originally asked Gary for a divorce, and I think it was 1994. Their divorce was not finalized until 1999. They were, and she tried counseling. She tried, it just sounds like there were so many hoops that she jumped through to like try to make it work, but they were deeply unhappy and they were basically separated and living. And then he just turned into this whole victim story. Like, I wanted to stay married and she did, you know, she was the slut. She left. She went and married somebody else. But then they just kept it under wraps about how horrible of a person he was and just made her out to be the scapegoat because apparently like divorcing your toxic ex is like such a bad thing and God could never.
I love that Christians adhere to the Jimmy Buffett doctrine of it's always the woman's fault, you know?
Yes,
like
always.
Literally, she could have been one-sided, horribly abused, whatever the fuck, for all this time, and she still would have been the one that took the brunt of the blame because she's a lady and she decided to leave her husband. And, you know, that's just not allowed. And you're supposed to never do that because then forever after that, you're just committing adultery. So she's an adulteress. Fuck that. Like, who cares?
And a divorced woman.
I'm really glad she leaned
she gets
into
to carry
her
that
villain era there.
Yes.
I think that is so weird. It is like the whole thing about it is so gross. And
if you all like weren't there, if you weren't paying attention, if you didn't know, like Christian bookstores pulled her CDs off shelves. She was being boycotted. People were burning her
blacklisted.
CDs. Like,
absolutely.
I'm not being hyperbolic when I'm saying this. We're not exaggerating this. People were big mad that she got a divorce.
Yes.
That was it. That was the only thing that she did wrong or did wrong in heavy quotes, because I don't think it was wrong. But at the time, everyone thought that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really took, I think, almost the brunt for all women who got divorced. Everyone was able to kind of just be like, oh, look, we can crucify you now. Like, we have a reason. Like, you lived this perfect, beautiful life of service and very godly, but this one thing just completely ruins all of that, and you're dead to me now. What I appreciated was that she did have a crossover career at that point, that she had kind of found new fans and kind of became more of a known name, just like globally. And I think that was maybe one of the only reasons that she was kind of able to survive. I mean, that, and also Vince, who, as you mentioned, was like a good friend, and they had done duets and collab stuff together, and he really cared for her as a human being. That's,
probably a safe person for her,
When you hear them talk about each other and their relationship and their marriage, like I'm so happy for her that she was able to find that freedom. Like I take that as a inspiration, and that she found someone who really loved her for who she is. And that she was able to have this like stable life when she had her traumatic bicycle accident. That was in 2022. And for those who don't know, she was just out on a bike ride. Her tire went into like a deep pothole. She flew over the handlebars. She had a concussion, was unconscious, had a traumatic brain injury. And she talks about that in a really beautiful way, too. Another inspiring way of her going, look, this thing happened to me. It changed my life. It changed who I was fundamentally. But it also gave her like a new perspective on what she wanted the rest of her life to look like and to be. And she took the time to recover. She took the time to listen to what her body needed, to care for herself. And she had a loving, supporting husband and family around her, which she would not have had if she had stayed, and just stayed for, the Christians to not be angry.
For 30 more years.
I remember my mom singing Amy Grant probably in the 2000s at some point, definitely, post, and my mom just commenting on just how like melancholy she sounded and how sad she was. I'm like, no, Mom, she's probably just singing more mellow songs or doing more whatever. I think it is really interesting, like looking back on her, transition, her crossover stardom, her getting divorced, and from what I understand and like reading about her, like she has a pretty big like queer fan base.
Yes.
And which is so interesting for a person who's like not queer and is still very Christian, clearly seems to be an affirming Christian. And I found, and I knew, like, we have, we've done our research. When we say like we stand a woke queen, it's because Amy's a fucking ally, right?
Yes.
Like she hosted her niece's gay wedding, and when Franklin Graham got all mad about it, she was like, whatever, like love is love, I don't care. Well, I found out she did an interview in 2013, and that was like it was her first like LGBTQ plus. She was like interviewed by like a gay man, and like came out with her stance. She wasn't like really, really, really explicit as she is now, but like I still think for someone in her position she's not into ruffling feathers. She's not like, not like me. She doesn't just be like, fuck it. Like, she's not out here like trashing Donald Trump on her social media. That's not Amy's style. That's fine. We can't all, be shitsters. But I found this quote from her from this interview in 2013. And I think that this just says so much. I think she has always been beyond her time. And maybe the fact that she felt the freedom to leave a toxic marriage, maybe that has given some people strength to leave compulsive like heterosexuality. Like maybe that it's showing people that like there is not one way to be a human or to be a Christian, right? So she said in this interview in 2013, she said, I know that the religious community has not been very welcoming, but I just want to stress that the journey of faith brings us into community, but it's really about one relationship, she said at the time. The journey of faith is just being willing and open to have a relationship with God, and everybody is welcome. Everybody. And like, I think she truly means it. She's not one of those churches that's just like, oh, they're welcome, but then you actually have to jump through 8 million hoops and nobody's welcome and you're all going to hell.
And you just never can have sex ever or be in love
ever
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as a person who has been shunned and pushed out of evangelicalism, I think that she gets it on a certain level, and she was not welcome, right? Yeah. And I think that is, granted, I don't know her. I know that we shouldn't like put people on pedestals, like kill your idols, like celebrities suck. That is true. But from what I can tell, I have just appreciated like seeing her growth as all of our other like evangelical heroes, the Michael W. Smiths, the fucking DC Talk boys. I mean, specific, like
not you, Kevin.
Kevin's all right.
You're fine, Kevin.
You're cool.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin's cool.
Kevin's good.
The other two, fucking Trumpy, especially Michael
Oh
Tate.
my
Come
God.
on, Michael.
It's so rude. Michael Tate, stop it. Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Jesus Christ.
Go
begs you to stop
take
it.
a page out of Amy's book, okay?
Yeah.
Please.
Just
don't steal it.
I mean,
ask for it.
She's just copy it.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. They could all stand to learn a little bit from Amy.
Yeah.
So anyways, that is my little diatribe on Amy. Clearly I can say things about her.
She's amazing.
Forever.
Did you say your song?
Yeah.
Did you say what one is your song? The Desert
Lead Me
Island?
On.
Lead Me On. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Silly me.
That's mine. Yep. That is my Desert Island
Yeah.
Amy song.
No, I was just going to say, after all of this, I mean, you said Breath of Heaven, but it didn't feel like you were committed, Meg. Is that your final answer? I feel like this is important to like close the loop on. For me, I think I need to know this to feel like whole as a person.
Well, then you named like 3 songs from Heart in Motion. So do you need to narrow it down? Like, which song is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we cast lots about it? I mean, we could do.
Do we need to lay out a fleece?
Yeah.
Dear God,
I'm gonna need some
performance fleece out for you.
You're gonna make me pick one, and I'm just like unprepared and unable to do it.
Can I say this? I just want to help you understand the stakes. One, it's important for my mental health. If I don't get this from you, I will die. But the next thing is, it actually doesn't matter, because I doubt you're going to a desert island. And if you were going to go to one, you would not have time to take one cassette tape and a tape recorder to listen to this Amy Grant song over and over.
On it.
So it's like not actually going to happen to you. I feel like you could just pick one that you're like, right now, this one is my favorite one if I really think about it.
I'm going to do If These Walls.
Perfect. Oh, that's a good
If These
one.
Walls
I'm
could
going to
speak.
go listen to that song right after this, because I feel like I need that song today.
I love old buildings. I love, places that people have existed where they don't exist anymore. I think that, for my imagination, especially on a desert island, would really keep me going if I just was constantly thinking about the walls, you know?
Oh, right. You could just change it though on your desert island to like, if these old trees could talk.
That's right.
Like, because what would those trees say? They would say some things. I've seen some shit.
So many things.
What do you think you did? Fell out of a coconut tree. That's not like.
No, I think for me, the song, it was like it's like you can go into your imagination and really think about other people besides yourself. I don't know. It just like took me out of the depths of despair of all the other songs I'm thinking of were all very like, I need God to fix me or save me, or like I'm terrible or worthless. And I love that about Amy, that her songs were kind of more of like, I don't know, like the realness of her struggle really comes out. Like her humanity really comes out in the song, that she didn't live a perfect life. She experienced a lot of shit.
And her emo nature. I feel like
100%.
This choice is showing me that your inner like emo child is like going strong, because like when she belts into that, like they would tell you that I'm sorry for being cold and blind and weak. Like, wow, Amy, like that. And then what does she say after that? They would tell you, that it's only that I have stubborn streak or whatever it is, right?
Yes.
That I have stubborn streak. Yeah.
It's like she just gave my little girl soul like the ability to know that you could sometimes rebel.
And she did, man. She always kind of rebelled. And we've talked a lot on this podcast about how sometimes I think that what has like saved me is having one toe out of evangelicalism. It wasn't even a full foot. It was like a toe. And I feel like Amy had a bit of a toe out.
Yes.
Like she rode the line. She wasn't afraid to she was so Christian, but at the same time, she just, I don't know, she took some risks, and I respect that.
I think, our mother, Amy, we'll always have a place in our hearts for you. You keep our hearts in motion, and we forever love you. So please join us sometime on our Holy Ghosting podcast. We will welcome you at any point, and we would love for you to talk about, I don't know, whatever you want. Honestly, just come and join us. We would love to have you here. And I hope all of you ghosties will stick around for this new season that we're planning. Don't worry, we're going to force Lindsay to come back and do some high times and show up on the feed. She is not gone forever. But in the meantime, Sarai and I are taking on the torch. We're going to keep on carrying on. This podcast has been an evolution for me and my spirituality, in my fully detaching and leaving the Christianity of my youth behind. And kind of like what I mentioned earlier is I realize that I'm now able to find spirituality and find connection with self and with spirit in such a different way. And Sarai has been a huge part of that for me. As we all know, she left quite a long time ago. And as she has embraced herself and who she is, she's really helped me to just explore that. And that's something that we're excited to do for everybody. We know that everyone's in different phases, different eras of life right now. Wherever you are in your spirituality, there are always places to evolve. And I think those evolutions, those changes within us are something that feed us in a way that, for me at least, I never could find or satiate in church. And I'm just thrilled that we get to keep this going.
And I think we have Amy Grant to thank for all of that.
We love you, ghosties. Thank you so much for sticking with us during this summer break. We have some great episodes coming out for you this fall and through the winter that we're really excited about. So stay tuned and we'll see you next time, ghosties.
Bye.
Bye.
Good game.